Hi everyone, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to make a cute dragon critter card featuring some new stencils from a Colorful Life Designs. Now do stick around to the end. I will show you a bonus card with a totally different look using the same stencil. So here I have a card base. This is Nina Classic Crest Solar White, 110-pound cardstock, and the Heart Wreath Stencil. This is part of the January release. Now here's a photo of the first card that I'm going to make for you. This will likely go to my daughter because she's a dragon lover and it's super bright and colorful like her. So I'm just going to use some post-it tape here to mask off the other portions of the card base where I don't want to get ink, and I'm going to kind of use this stencil in a little bit of an unorthodox way. Now you could absolutely use this in the center of your card and create a really nice focal point to either put your sentiment or a critter in the middle, but I kind of wanted to show a different way to use a stencil like this. It doesn't have to be always what you would expect. So I'm starting off with some bright colors. I'm actually just using some residual ink on my blending brushes. I want it to be a little bit more subtle. It's still plenty bright, but my ink pad sets from Catherine Pooler are kind of recently refilled and they're really juicy. So it's big time saturation with the ink blending. So it's nice to kind of leave the ink on the brushes, and then I can create a more subtle look from time to time with my cards and clean my brushes in the process. So I'm kind of just working through rainbow colors. I'm thinking in terms of colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, so that way I know they won't muddy the other colors up if they overlap. So I'm kind of starting with the warm colors and then moving into the cooler colors. And as you can see, I'm not being concise with the measuring here. I'm just kind of going around different parts of the card and just using half of the wreath to do the ink blending. And it's creating kind of an interesting backdrop for this card. Now I don't have a plan. I don't know how this is going to end up. In typical fashion, I'm winging it, but I am holding everything down with my new magnetized glass board, and I do actually have a coupon. If you're interested in getting one of those, I will link it in the video description box below, but you can get 20% off from that shop. So here I have the card base, and now I'm figuring out how do I want to dress this up. So I grabbed my critter book. Now this is my storage solution. I have a few of these books, but this is the one that I use for my little stamped and colored critters. And I decided to come back to, actually the first page of this book has all these little dragons, and I was just recently looking at these for a different card and didn't use it, and I thought, hey, those are kind of perfect. I've got 3 of them, and I've got 3 kind of half circle openings on this card, and look at that, they're even like the perfect colors. So rather serendipitous, it worked out great, and I will ultimately kind of nestle those into the little spaces. But before I add the dimension with that foam tape, I decide I better do my stamping first. Now this stamp set is another new release, part of the January 2023 release at a Colorful Life Designs. It's the second only ever stamp set in the shop, and it's adorable. The sentiments are totally right up my alley. I was able to kind of give her some ideas on this, and this is totally how I talk and my language. So I love having stamps that kind of mimic what I might be inclined to write on the card anyway. So I am just stamping this down with a really rich black ink. It says I love you, Oodles, and I'm using Versifying Clair Nocturne. So it's a really dark, rich black. Now it will take a little bit to dry, so don't stick your finger in it. But now that I've done the stamping, I can come in and kind of add some dimension with these 3 little dragons. So I have this foam tape from scrapbook.com. I'm just cutting a few little strips and putting them on the back of the dragons. Now that gray one I had already kind of run through my Xyron sticker maker, so it actually had some adhesive behind it, but I wanted to pop it up so that it was raised up on the card as well as the other dragons. So these 3 are going to finish this adorable little card. Now, thanks for sticking around. Here's kind of a more traditional way to use this stencil. I used the same residual ink from my blending brushes, but I did just cool colors, And then I used the stamp Kindness Matters also from that stamp set. And here's a photo of the finished card. So do be sure to check out the rest of this release. It is chocked full of gorgeous stencils, not just for Valentine's Day, but great for year round. And do use my coupon AmyFan10 if you shop and save on your complete order. So thank you so much for checking it out, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.